I'm Perrin Alford. I'm the Provost of West Georgia Technical College here in LaGrange. Welcome to Technically Speaking. This morning we'll be talking to Frances Obry, who is our Career Services Coordinator, and we will let her give us some good insights into what she can do to help you find your dream job as you attend West Georgia Technical College. Also, would like to remind all of our current graduates about a job networking event that will be at the Callaway Conference Center September 13th, and that's 4:30 to 7 p.m. Welcome to Technically Speaking. I'm Perrin Alford, the Provost of West Georgia Technical College, and this morning we're with Frances Obry. Frances is the Career Services Director at West Georgia Technical College, and Frances has been with the college many years. So Frances, as I do each program, take a few minutes and tell the folks who are watching the program this morning a little bit about Frances, how long you've been at West Georgia Tech, what your educational background is at West Georgia Tech, and some of the many different jobs that you've had to handle for us.
Dinosaur at West Georgia Technical College. I started there in October of 1985 as New Connections Coordinator for single parents and displaced homemakers. Did that for about 12 years. Then I started working with special needs, special populations. I've worked with the Federal Work Study Program. But about 11 years ago, I became the Career Services Director, where I work with students in job placement, to help our graduates secure employment. All of our graduates have 100% job placement assistance when they graduate for lifetime. So I've had a very rewarding career at West Georgia Tech. I've seen a lot of change the last 5 years, many changes. From I started there when it was Troop Tech,
right
down on little old Fort Drive, and now we've come all the way up to be West Georgia Technical College, and seen lots of changes.
And we started many years ago as Technical Institute. Then in about 2000, I think, we went to Technical College. And then recently, 2 years ago, we merged with the Carrollton folks, West Central, to make the current West Georgia Technical College, which is 5 different campuses, close to 8,000 students enrolled, and we do a lot of good stuff at West Georgia Tech that folks probably are not aware of, all the stuff we do. I suspect that career services might fall into that category. So tell us a little bit specifics about what you do with career services.
And you're right, Perrin. Career Services is probably the best kept secret at West Georgia Technical College, and no matter how we try to blitz the information out there for our students, they seem to not understand that we're there to help. We have a Career Services Center in LaGrange at our LaGrange campus, and I do serve all 5 campuses. We also have a one-stop Career Services Center at our Waco campus, which is called our Murphy campus. It's a one-stop shop there where we have Department of Labor, vocational rehabilitation there for our students as well as for the public. So I have an office there to serve students as well as in LaGrange. At West Georgia Tech, we do serve our graduates with resume writing, interview skills. We have the West Georgia Tech Job Web, where students can upload their resume. Employers post jobs directly on our West Georgia Tech Job Web. Students upload their resume. Employers can view a student's resume at any time, and that's just the way of the times now with technology.
Okay, now that was going to be one of my questions, to like tell us, you know, some differences between how you did this job 5-10 years ago as to how you do the job now, and just so everyone watching will know, at one time I started my career in career services, so as a career services director, I could probably answer that question maybe even better than you, but technology has really impacted how people do job searches, career searches. So kind of compare and
if
contrast
you
a little
go-
bit the changes you've seen.
When I started in career services probably 11 or 12 years ago, it was the old, everything was paper-based, of course. An employer would call and give me a job order, and we would take the job order, write it out or type it up, and put it on a bulletin board. And students would have to come physically to the bulletin board and look at the job order. Everything was done by fax, or either the student would come in and prepare a resume and they would take their resume out to the employer, or I would fax it over to the employer. Well, now everything has gone more electronic, which is a little bit depersonalized for students. It takes the human touch out of things sometimes. Where I said a student may upload their resume, pretty much most employers nowadays, all of their the employers have a job center, and the students end up posting their job on the employer's job center electronically, and they're screened that way, as opposed to going and meeting and taking your resume by hand to the employer. Like I said, it's a little bit depersonalized, but it's just the sign of the times and the way everything has gone to electronics.
Right. Tell us a little bit about, I would assume that the resume is still kind of like the starting point. I
Right.
mean, even though it's just a piece of paper, and even though it's just words on a piece of paper,
Right.
still, I would assume that's still like the basic building block in a career search process. So tell us a little bit about resume writing and what you do to help. And
Okay. I tell students all the time their resume is like their ticket. It's their little passport to the job. It's their advertisement, their personal advertisement. And, you know, we're brought up not to brag on ourselves, but your resume is the point where you want to brag on yourself and entice the employer to call you. Employer usually gives a resume about a 10-second scan when they first look at it. You don't want it to be too long. Traditionally, you're looking at, especially for recent graduates, you're looking at a one-page resume. Of course, you want all of your biographical information at the top, and you want it to be correct. I strive that everything on the resume needs to be correct for the student. All of the information, all of their previous employment information. And another thing with the resume, you want your work history to be correct, because employers are always going to verify your previous work history. And you want to showcase your skills, especially your computer skills nowadays. It's so important for almost any job for you to have excellent computer skills, and you want to showcase that.
okay, is unfortunately, well, perhaps fortunately, I don't know. You and I both have done many resumes over the years because we've had to find jobs. I mean, you know, you graduate from either technical college or a four-year college, and we all have this in common. We have to find a job, so we have to do resumes.
Right.
Many years ago, thank goodness, when I was doing my own resumes, trying to find employment, you were told that a certain color makes you stand
Right.
out, or a certain font style might make you stand out, or you know, the way it's arranged, education first, then work history, and some would say, oh no, work history first.
Right.
Does, in your opinion, you know, does that really still hold much?
Well, for a recent graduate,
sway?
you want your education to stand out, of course, your education and your skills, and then usually your work history. Also, you want them to know a little bit maybe about your work ethic. At West Georgia Technical College, our students graduate with a work ethic grade, and that's important also. You want them to know that you're, you know, a team player, that you have great problem-solving skills, and those are areas that we cover, as well as our fundamental classes at West Georgia Tech. We cover those areas and strive to let our students know how important work ethics and that kind of, and your attitude, and that you're going to be at work and you're dependable and those kind of things. So you want those to come across in your resume as well. We use a program called Winway Resume Writer. We have it loaded on our computers in both of our career service centers in Waco as well as in LaGrange, and we encourage students to come and we assist the student in writing the resume using this software. The Georgia Department of Labor also has this same software, and it's not just a canned, everybody's resume is not going to look the same. You can change the format and fonts and things like that. And you spoke about the colored paper. You don't want to use colored paper. You always want to use a nicer stock paper, and you want to use like a linen grade type paper, a cream color, linen color, or your standard white is okay. But nowadays, with everything going more electronic, sometimes that's not as important as just the format and the content, because you're usually going to just cut and paste and upload your resume.
So that's a great point. So in the world we live in today, is it acceptable when a graduate is about to really get into that career search heavily, is that an accepted practice now, where you get an HR manager's name, or you perhaps go to a newspaper and get the contact email address, and you actually email the company and attach the resume with the email? Is
right, you can do that. You can attach your resume, and always I let students know that a cover letter is very, very important. A cover letter should reference the advertisement or how they found out about the job. Say if you found out about the job through the West Georgia Tech Career Services, you should reference that when you're applying. But a cover letter is important if the employer has requested a cover letter. Now, if they say no cover letter required, you've always got to follow the instructions. And that brings up another subject, parent instructions. A lot of employers will give specific instructions on filling out an application or turning in your resume, and if you can't follow those simple instructions, it could cut you from even being interviewed for the job. If it says use black ink, you use black ink. If it says use blue ink, use blue ink. If it says print, you print. It's just those simple type could weed you out from the whole application process.
Right, and again, I'm not sure people who are just getting started on a career search might not realize that the number of people who are applying for the current positions that are available, and so again, they have to think in terms of what that HR manager is looking at and dealing with. If they have 150 resumes to look at, there's some things they can look at to kind of weed out those people. Not following instructions, I would assume, would be the first thing they look at and go, hey, this one's out, this one's out. So very important to follow instructions and to the T, to the letter on what they are asking you for.
Exactly. And if in the job advertisement, they say it's a customer service position, if in your cover letter you need to reference that. You need to reference the customer service, you need to reference your experience in your cover letter, something to entice that employer to read your cover letter and then want to look over at your resume and then want to call you in for an interview. But for now, for every job out there, say if there's one job order, there's probably 100 applicants or more because of the high unemployment rates. And I did want to add this, that in the past years, our placement rates have been really high in the 98, 96, 99% rate. In the past couple of years, because of the recession and the economy and high unemployment rates, our placement rates have not been as high because it's so competitive. And that's another reason for students to come to West Georgia Technical College, to get marketable skills, to gain those marketable skills so that you can go out there and be competitive in the employment world.
Excuse me. We're talking to Frances Stroud this morning, and Frances is our Frances Obry, and we're talking about career services and all the different ways that Frances can help a student be successful when they are looking for a job. When we come back, we're going to talk about some stuff that folks might not think is really as important as it is, and that's how to dress for an interview. Also, I want Frances to talk about a couple what I call the kiss of deaths. And we've already talked about one. If you can't follow basic instructions, you're going to have a tough time. So when we return, we're going to talk to Frances about several important things that you need to think about as you embark upon a career search, either at West Georgia Tech or just on your own. So we'll be right back.
You've got that ideal career in mind. Well, West Georgia Technical College specializes in preparing you for great careers. Call today and find out how we can help you fit education into your busy lifestyle.
Welcome back to Technically Speaking. I'm Perrin Alford. I'm the provost of West Georgia Technical College, and this morning we're chatting with Frances Obry. And Frances has been at West Georgia Tech for many years now. She is a veteran of West Georgia Technical College, and currently she is the Career Services Coordinator at the college, and she is responsible for a lot of different things, but the main thing is working with our students both while they're enrolled and certainly working with our students when they are graduating to help them in their career search and hopefully help them find a fabulous job. Now, I guess we need to preface this. Frances cannot guarantee you a job. Boy, do we wish that were the fact, but that's not true. Ms. Obry is there to assist our students in the career search and all the different tasks that are associated with finding a job. So tell us a little bit about how you know where the jobs are. I mean, I know that you can get a newspaper and look in the want ads, but I know there's lots more avenues and strategies that you employ than just doing that. So tell us about how you know where the jobs are in our community.
Well, it's very important in my position to be out there networking with employers and to constantly be searching for job openings and advertising, and I do that through networking as well as on our West Georgia Tech job web. We also have job fairs several times a year, but I'm also a member of several HR groups so that I can intermingle and meet employers and the HR folks at the major companies. I'm a member of the Society of Human Resource Managers, SHRM. I'm also a member of the West Georgia LaGrange Employer Committee, which is an advisory council group for the Georgia Department of Labor. And of course, I work very closely with the Georgia Department of Labor in all of our counties and service areas. But it's a matter of networking and always advertising our graduates, our students, letting employers know that we have students with the latest and greatest marketable skills in, we have 100 different programs that we do offer. So I'm always just out there marketing our students and planning recruiting events. We have many job fairs right in our career service centers on our campus. If an employer wants to come in, say if they're trying to recruit 5 to 10 employees, most recently we had ExxonMobil to come in and had a little mini job fair where they actually recruited and interviewed prospective employees. We have a big, large annual job fair every year at the Callaway Conference Center, which is open to the public as well as for our students. So it's just constantly trying to advertise our students and promote our students to go to work in our community.
Okay. Tell us about, since you just said you work with these SHRM groups and all the HR managers of all these companies in our service area, obviously you guys talk amongst yourselves. So tell us a little bit about what some real issues are that they have continually that they talk to you about, and it would be interesting, I think, for the folks watching this program to know what some of these issues are in helping them find employment. You would think with a 10-11% unemployment rate in Troup County that these folks would never be in need of any employee, but that's really not true.
Right.
So tell us what some of the issues are.
Right. As you say, in these groups, and also another group that I forgot to mention was Troup County Works, our Workforce Development Committee. I'm very active with that group and support Troup Works, and that's another website where the public and our students can resource to look for jobs. But as you said, the biggest problems are finding a skilled workforce, and I guess the hottest job that is that employers seek in this area, in Troup County area, is maintenance. That seems to be the hardest skill or skill set to find, and that's a very good paying job.
And now, what is the maintenance position, real quickly?
Industrial maintenance,
Okay.
where you're responsible for the maintenance and upkeep of all the machinery to keep the production going in all of our plants here. So that's the biggest area that we need. We really need to recruit students into our industrial maintenance program at West Georgia Tech, because this is a great career, but there's a shortage of applicants for that area.
Now, every time that we talk to someone on the show, we talk about maintenance, electronics, maybe even drafting, perhaps anything tied to our industrial park. If we had 25, 30 graduates, could you find 30 graduates jobs within a week?
Yes, probably within a week or so, yes. As far as maintenance, electronics, those kind of things, PLCs, those type jobs, yes. Always, there's a local industry right now that is really wanting to work directly with our industrial maintenance program, maybe to even grow their own maintenance technicians. So
there's a huge need
demand
in our community right now as we speak. So if you're listening to this program, if you're watching this program, and you want to get in a program at West Georgia Technical College that is going to lead you to a wonderful job, high-paying job, please call us 706-845-4323, or you can always get us on the web, www.westgtech.edu. So very important. Plenty of jobs are out there. You know, we hear continually there's no jobs, and our unemployment rate is pretty high in Troup County, but there are jobs out there if you have the skills to fit the little niche that they're looking for.
And then back to your question, Perrin, you were asking me other things that I hear HR managers speaking about, and of course work ethics is a huge, your attitude, but another area is criminal background checks and drug testing. Those two things weed out so many applicants, and I just want to say how important it is. You know, you want to keep you don't want to commit a crime that's going to show up on your criminal background check, and you want to stay drug free. I mean, that's just the bottom line. If you want to work for any of these big companies that are hiring, you must pass a drug background test and criminal background check.
And those are just two good kind of rules to follow in life.
Life in general.
I mean, not only
if you want to be a productive citizen, yes.
Right. So it seems that silly almost that we would have to say that, but the world we live in, sadly, we need to say that. So, you know, as I've said before, if you have those issues, you need to get those taken care of, and for goodness sake, get in some college somewhere. It can be West Georgia Tech or another technical college or community college, but education really is the key to earning more money and living a very good lifestyle. Quickly, what can a student do to really make themselves stand out amongst the crowd? When they come to your office and say, what can I do to really make myself stand out, what would you say?
Well, you always want to dress appropriately when you go for an interview, and I have students so many times that show up in my office and, you know, I mean, they've got on a short top or holey jeans, they've got bling bling or earrings, tattoos, whatever, piercings, you know, and those are fine in your personal life, but an employer doesn't want to see those things. So you always want to dress one notch above the job you're applying for when you go for an interview. You always want to arrive on time, of course, but you've just got to make yourself stand out. You've got to have good eye contact. You know, you just have to sell yourself.
How about the handshake? We always hear about the handshake.
Firm handshake with good eye contact is very important. You've just got to be assertive. You can't walk in and look at the floor and expect an employer to, you know, say, oh, this is the one. You've got to assert yourself and sell yourself, more or less, to that employer, and let the employer know that, you know, about yourself, and that you're going to be dependable, or you're going to be there, you're reliable, mature, those kind of things. And your appearance, that first 10 seconds, 8 seconds that the employer looks at you, your appearance says a whole lot. So, you know, just, I know some of the styles and things like that, fads of today, tattoos, those kind of things. That's all well and good if that's what you want to do, but it's not going to impress an employer usually.
Right. I had an employer years ago tell me this, and it was kind of funny when I was in career services. And I said, tell me what you're really looking for. Just cut to the chase. What are you really looking for? And the HR manager said, we're looking for 5 things. And I said, really? Only 5? They said, absolutely. I said, what are those 5? I'm dying to know. They said they need to show up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So, I think that says a little bit about the culture and the times we live in. But work ethic is so important. So, having your act together, so to speak, showing up on time, having a good resume that makes sense, that's well written, that is grammatically correct, dressing for the part, being assertive, a good handshake. All of those things, while they sound simple, are very, very, very important when you're trying to get a job. Well, this morning we've been talking to Frances Obery, and we just scratched the surface. We could spend 2 more hours talking about career services and what you need to do and the things that you need to have to make you have a very good shot to get that job. So thank you, Frances. Thank you for all you do at West Georgia Tech. You've been wonderful for 20 plus years. We're so glad you've stayed with us, and you do a great job to help our students. This is Perrin Alford signing off. Thanks for watching Technically Speaking, and we'll see you next time.
You've got that ideal career in mind. Well, West Georgia Technical College specializes in preparing you for great careers. Call today and find out how we can help you fit education into your busy lifestyle.